My name is Austin Hirschberger, and this is my video for EDL 856 Module 14 case study. Section 1 summarizes the case. I'm the principal of a school and am concerned about a newly formed parent organization. Below are the facts that summarize the situation. The parent organization has disconnected itself with the national PTA and is now independent. Although I have given parents opportunities to get involved and play important roles, the parents in the organization seem to be unhappy about their lack of involvement. I've decided to meet with representatives of the new parent organization to discuss an upcoming back-to-school night. The president of the parent group states that they are unhappy with how the back-to-school night has been run in the past and believe a change is needed. They feel that the previous back-to-school night had confused parents more than informed them. The president says that parents would like there to be multiple back-to-school nights focusing on specific subjects, as well as parent-teacher conferences that same week. The president also stated that the organization wants to become involved in policymaking for the school and believe that they should be equal partners with the administration. The organization has already met and established committees for discipline, teacher performance, curriculum, and school evaluation. The committees want to observe the school, collect data, and begin proposing policies for change. I need to respond in a way that meets parent concerns but also doesn't conflict the educational program. Section 2, report legal or ethical issues. As the principal and leader of the school, I feel that I have been wronged by by members of the parent organization. All decisions regarding the education program and day-to-day operation of the school should be brought forward and ultimately decided upon by the principal. Because members of the parent organization met and made decisions to form committee chairs without my knowledge, I feel they have gone behind my back on this. As far as the members of the parent organization, they feel as though they have been wronged by the operations of the school. During our meeting, they state that they are unhappy with the back-to-school nights in the past, and then although they have played important roles in past school programs, they feel they are lacking involvement and are wanting to be equal partners in administrative decisions. Continuing with Section 2, according to Department of Education, schools should make concerted efforts to maximize parent involvement in educational decisions to the extent appropriate. Section 1118 of the ESEA states that schools should involve parents in an organized, ongoing, and timely way in the planning, review, and improvement of programs under this part, including the planning, review, and improvement of the school parent involvement policy and the joint development of the school-wide program plan. Question 2. One of the national PTA standards is parents as full partners in school decisions that affect children and families. The Kansas State Board of Education has endorsed the 6 national standards for family school partnerships to promote parent involvement in all Kansas districts and schools. The standards include welcoming all families into the school community, communicating effectively, supporting student success, speaking up for every child, sharing power, and collaborating with community. There are no legal constraints on that role or the role that can be played by a PTA in Kansas. Question 9. According to the ESEA, parents can be helpful in assisting their child's learning, are encouraged to be actively involved in their education, and are to be included in decision-making and on advisory committees that assist in the education of their child. Question 1. Section 3, synthesize what has happened in a single sentence. An equitable solution needs to be implemented to members of a parent organization that are unhappy with their involvement and want to play a large role in the administrative aspects of the school. Section 4, synthesize the facts. As far as the people involved in this, myself, the principal, I was unaware of decisions made by the parent organization. Then we have the president of the parent organization, who's also an attorney, and then other officers of the parent organization. Those are the ones that we know. As far as the ones that are unknown, as far as myself, how long have I been the principal at this school? I think that would be important to know. As far as the parent organization, do any members have background or licensure in education? Who is the superintendent? And then we don't know any names or demographics of the communities, such as gender, race, social class, or anything really about the people involved. As far as the place, all we know is it's a school setting. We don't know if it's secondary. We don't know if it's elementary. We don't know the size of the school as far as the enrollment or the demographics of the community, like I said. We also don't know the location of the school. Is this a rural school or suburban? And how large is the school district? And then program, parent organization, it's newly formed. It disconnected itself with the national PTA. We know that. And committees have been formed. And then we know that there's a back-to-school night. However, we do not know what it was that confused parents in the past about back-to-school nights? And then with the parent organization, why did they remove themselves from PTA originally? Section 5, review and prioritize the information. This conflict can be absolutely damaging to parents, families, or other community members if the correct decisions are not made on how to handle it. The steps I take to resolve the issue and the ultimate solution needs to demonstrate two-way communication with parents, value their engagement around shared goals, and the importance of cultivating relationships with parents for school improvement. Individuals of stake in the outcome of the decisions include myself, teachers in the school, the president and officers of the parent organization, and parents not directly involved that have children in the school. To this point, not all relevant stakeholders have been consulted. Parents of all students should be informed when a decision is made. In the particular situation, I feel the most effective method of communicating the decision to parents would be through a parent information meeting. Notice of this meeting should be sent to parents through a variety of methods, including a school newsletter and a school-wide alert system. Notice should be sent to parents in a format and in a language that they understand, questions 3 and 5. Before seeking a solution and making a decision, I need to familiarize myself with federal and state standards around parent involvement and review district policies and regulations that address the issue. In my district, there are no restrictions to parent involvement as long as student confidentiality is withheld. Parent involvement is very much encouraged, question 10. Section 6, identify your options. I identified really 5 options, number 6 being not an option. The first option I have is to do nothing at all and let the parent organization continue what they've started. With this option, their series of back-to-school nights idea would be granted. The second option, the most liberal one in this scenario, is to simply tell the parents no and that they have no authority or input in the school decisions, and the back-to-school night will run as it has in the past. Another option I have is to establish a site council that would meet regularly throughout the school year and provide input on school decisions, policies, and curriculum. Question 4. Another option is to better define the role of the parent organization. This role would be similar to a typical PTA, although this particular one is disconnected from the national PTA. The parent organization's role would be to identify fundraising opportunities and funds for teacher grants that would benefit the school. Question 7. In regards to back to school night, I could plan 2 nights during the first week of school. One night would involve parents along with their children, kind of like an open house. The other night would be for only parents. That way they could have whatever questions they have answered. And then one request that the president made that I do not feel is an option is the idea of back to school night the same week as parent-teacher conferences during American Education Week, because American Education Week is in November around parent-teacher conferences. However, back to school nights would be at the beginning of the year. Section 7, evaluate your options. The pros of option 1, there wouldn't be much backlash from the parents. They would get what they want as far as decision making and back to school nights. The con, I don't think that this would demonstrate a partnership. The teachers would be unhappy with multiple nights or late nights in the same week. Option 2, telling parents no. School operations would be run just as they have always been. As far as I know to this point, staff and faculty would be happy. The con of this, parents would be outraged by this decision. Myself and the school could face lawsuits. This is the worst option in my opinion. Option 3, as far as the site council, parents would be happy with their increased role in their involvement with decision making, policies, and curriculum. As the ultimate decision maker, my decision would be influenced by another party with valuable input. The con of this, the teacher performance evaluation aspect of the request would be left to administration, which means restructuring the committees the parents have established. Option 4, redefining the role of the PTA. Funding for the school would increase. Parents would get to play a very important and helpful role. Teachers would have better access to classroom materials that could be purchased through PTA. The con of this, I would need to find parents who are more interested in this aspect of the parent organization than site council decisions, and chairs would be reshuffled. Option 5, having 2 separate back-to-school nights. Parents would have two different nights that they could attend, and then their confusion would be addressed at parent night. Opportunity for two-way communication with parents. The con of this option, teachers may be a little irritated with 2 back-to-school nights and increased time after school. Section 8, choose the best option. I feel that the best solution to this case is a combination of options 3, 4, and 5. I feel that the tense meeting with the president and the members of the parent organization is actually a blessing in disguise. Parents desire to be equal partners in school decisions, and they should be. If they feel that their involvement in the school is not enough, they have every right to become more involved. Parent involvement is key to school improvement and student development. My solution to this case means dividing the parent organization into sections. Site council will be responsible for meeting with administration to address concerns and would have a valuable input into decisions, policy, and curriculum. PTA would be responsible for fundraising, planning school events, and supplying classroom resources. Splitting back to school night into 2 nights will allow parents the opportunity to address concerns at parent night and ease the transition for students at open house. I will need to ensure all teachers are on board with this. My approach to parents should demonstrate thankfulness for their desire to become more involved in their child's education, and should show that they are valued as key members in the school's educational program. To this point, not all stakeholders have been consulted. However, in order to implement my solution, all parents should have an opportunity for their voice to be heard. This also means adding potential stakeholders to either the PTA or the site council. I will also need to consult the superintendent of the school district about the division of the parent organization. The criteria that should be considered prior to developing these committees and the activities that they will play a part in is how they benefit the school. I feel that both of these committees are conducive to student learning and benefit the school both short-term and long-term. Question 6. Section 9, imagine implementing your decision. There are multiple steps that must be taken in order to implement my solution to the case. The very first step I will take is in the conclusion of the meeting. I had the president with the conclusion of the meeting that I had with the president and other members of the parent organization, I need to make them aware that their involvement in school procedures is highly valued and that I believe we can collaborate as partners in order for them to play multiple important roles within the educational program of the school. The second step I will take in this process is to meet with the superintendent of the school district. The purpose of this meeting is to make him aware of the desires of the parents, my proposed solution to the issue, and to seek his support in implementing it. Step 3, the purpose of this solution is to involve the parents in a more significant manner, which means that this problem cannot be solved entirely on my own. The parents should be involved. Therefore, the next step I'll need to take is to hold another meeting with only the president and key members of the parent organization. I will propose to them my solution to the issue along with newly structured back to school nights. I believe that these stakeholders will be supportive of the solution I've presented. However, this is an opportunity for them to voice their perspectives. Step 4, the next step in this process is to hold a meeting with all parents in the school. Parents of enrolled students will need to be notified prior to the meeting via mass email and school-wide alert system. The purpose of this meeting will be to present proposed structure of having a school site council that will be involved in educational decisions, policy, and curriculum, as well as the PTA. Once this is presented, parents and administration will work together to identify officers of each committee. I believe this strategy cultivates two-way communication with the community. Once the site council and PTA officers are identified, they can begin collaborative effort to improve school operations. Each committee operates in a unique way that benefits the school, the community, and students. I believe this is one way as a school leader that I've used community resources to improve student learning. Question 8. The next step in this process will be to notify teachers of the newly structured back to school nights, the parent night and the open house, and the purpose for restructuring the old method. The final step in this process is to alert the school community as a whole of the scheduled open house and parent night method. This should be done through multiple means of communication and a few weeks prior to the start of the school year. All right, thank you for watching.